I can't believe that it's mid-May, and I also can't believe how much is happening in my garden right now. It's incredible, and so much has happened since last month. So let's go on a little garden tour to see what's going on. First off, my sage finally bloomed. It seems like it took a little longer to bloom this year than years past, but better late than never. The white mulberries have been producing quite well. I can harvest a nice handful every few days. There isn't any action on my other mulberry trees just yet, but they are younger trees, so I wouldn't expect anything this year. The climbing rose is just crushing it right now. I just love when it blooms. It's one of my favorite things in the garden in the spring, and it was one of the few things that was already here when I moved in that I really loved. The artichokes are doing really well. I'm going to harvest this one probably tonight, actually, which is so exciting. Homegrown artichokes are so rewarding. These violas in my shishito pepper planter are a nice pop of color and are doing really well, and the shishito pepper plants aren't doing so bad either. I did transplant some new ones, and I'm glad I did because two overwintered from last year, but it looks like one has seen better days, so at least I'll still have more plants than I did last year. And then we have this gorgeous rose over here. This is about a 3-year-old plant, and admittedly, I haven't really cared for it how I should have, so the blooms are few and far between, but I am definitely going to enjoy each one that I get. A lot of my nasturtiums have kind of started to fizzle since we have had some decently warm days in the high 80-degree Fahrenheit range, but these have started to really flourish and they are in a shadier spot, so hopefully I can enjoy these a little while longer. This is the first year that I have seen fruit on this Snow Queen nectarine. I need to thin these smaller, weaker fruits, which will leave me with just one that will hopefully keep growing so I can try at least one this year. I've also transplanted my tomato plants and they all seem to be doing really well and I am seeing lots of blooms, so I am hoping that maybe by the end of June I'll have some tomatoes. That may be too hopeful, but things definitely grow pretty quickly and for some of the cherry tomatoes it could be possible. And over here, I have my dwarf tomato plants in some smaller containers. They are just absolutely thriving, and I am so excited for these. Last year, they didn't do so well, but this year is already looking more promising. I have more tomatoes over here, and then under this tray, I have some freshly transplanted okra seedlings. The tray helps keep animals from stomping on them, and they work really well. I have some random things that are waiting to be transplanted over here, and I'm always starting sunflower seeds. And speaking of sunflowers, I recently transplanted a lot of sunflower seedlings, and they are just doing so well and are growing taller and taller every day. And again, the baskets and the trays are to keep critters out and to give them a little more protection until they are larger and stronger. I've also been transplanting cosmos into the corners of this raised bed as they are ready to be transplanted, and I cannot wait to see all of the blooms in this bed. The other peppers are also doing their thing. I have a lot that overwintered from last year, as well as several new to me varieties. And this will be my first year being able to harvest some cherries off of my dwarf cherry tree. And I am going to wait a little bit longer before I harvest them because I think they are supposed to be a little bit darker in color. Moving on to some more berries, I have blueberries that are hopefully going to start to ripen soon, and the raspberries, blackberries, and boysenberries are also starting to gain some speed with growth, and the strawberries are also starting to come in, and I can pick a nice handful each day. I also transplanted my cucumbers and they are growing so fast. It always amazes me how quickly cucumbers can grow, and I already see some little baby cucumbers forming. I have one more cucumber plant that I am waiting for to transplant. I had to restart the seed for that one that will go here, and that will be a lemon cucumber. Moving on to the front yard, the citrus trees are doing their thing and are enjoying their new location. And in this raised bed, I am planning on planting root vegetables because of how nice and loose this soil is. This will be the perfect spot for them. The front yard California poppies are kind of getting past their prime. Plenty of seed pods have already dried and popped, so I'll be curious to see what this looks like next spring. But the corn poppies are starting to now come up, and they are just as lovely as ever. And I'm going to end this garden tour with this lacy black elderberry plant. I have never seen it flower before in the 2 years that I have had it, so this may be the first year for elderberries. Thanks for joining me on this garden tour and stay tuned because I'm sure by next month I'll have even more to show you.